The Browns head to Detroit to take on the Lions. Let's recap this game. Once again, we are going up against a Super Bowl ready offense, and you kind of have hopes that the same thing is going to happen from last week when, we went up against the Packers and we had a strong defensive game and the offense did enough to get over the hump and get us a win. And I will keep that in my heart, treasured in my heart forever. I didn't have faith that we would be able to do it again. And I guess my heart was in the right place because didn't go exactly as planned. Well, the game started off, Lions got the ball first. We actually had a nice defensive stand, made them punt. Very shocking. The offense comes out. Joe Flacco is leading the charge once again. We had a nice catch and a good run by Judkins. But the real sauce would come when Judy caught a huge catch. Huge catch. Here we are right at the goal line. Some shenanigans happen, of course, because it's the Cleveland Browns. But we do get the ball over the line with Judkins. Surprisingly, we are the first ones to score. Someone probably got paid out pretty nicely gambling on that. So Judkins gets the first touchdown of the game. Schmitty kicks the extra point. The Lions then would have their good drive. A nice long pass to St. Brown, of course. And then after a couple of Browns penalties, they will run it in with Jahmyr Gibbs. So now we're tied up. It doesn't feel too bad, 7-7. More points than I was expecting to score in this game, to be honest. And we get to see what our offense will do next. Joe freaking Flacco throws a floater ball right to the defense. Terrible throw. Possibly an incorrect running route by the receiver, but Flacco should never have thrown that ball. By the time that he threw the ball, the receiver already had done a shorter route than maybe he was expecting. But yeah, it just went right to the Lions defender, and they got the interception. Our defense did hold them to a field goal, so now it was just 10-7. I'm still feeling okay. The defense is playing well enough, and we just need the offense to start moving. And I was already asking for Gabriel to come in after that interception by Flacco. But of course, Flacco trotted back out there onto the field. Aiden Hutchinson, though, said, I'm going to sack you. After that, we kind of just, gave up. Joe threw a dirt ball, and we punted it away. Jahmyr Gibbs did have a nice run after that, but after we almost got an interception, we held them to another fourth down, and we would get the ball back. If only our offense could move the ball. If only we could score more than 15 points a game. My goodness, what we could have done here. But no, the defense is giving us, once again, so many chances here. And frickin' Flacco threw another interception after that. You can't make this shit up. Put Gabriel in. Just literally put Gabriel in. I don't care if he's gonna get destroyed out there. I don't feel like he would get destroyed out there. But he needs to have some practice in a real NFL game so that we can just start him next week. The whole Flacco scenario is maddening. Absolutely maddening. I am ripping my hair out over this freaking Flacco throwing this freaking ball. And of course, off of that interception, the Lions would get a touchdown to St. Brown. He was wide open, right side of the field at the goal line. It was just a easy play for him. A little back and forth happened. There was a nice pass to Laporta mixed in there somewhere. And the Lions would get a field goal at the end of the half. But of course, our prayers were not answered. Flacco would trot back onto the field for the second half. And the definition of insanity, right? Doing something over and over again, expecting a different result. Well, we are the true definition of insanity at this point. We did get pretty lucky on a possible strip sack by Aiden Hutchinson. It was called back by a defensive like holding call or something like that. But of course, coming off of this lucky break, Flacco throws a ball to a well-covered, I believe it was Jeudy, who was very well covered. He was running down the stretch, but he was covered the whole way there. So of course he's not going to be able to catch the ball. Then the next play, same thing. The receiver is completely covered that whole way, double covered in this instance, and he throws the ball to him. Like, you can obviously see that the defender is on them. Like, at least with the Hail Mary ball, at least, you could say, like, okay, he thought that maybe the receiver could make a play. But this, like, short pass was just so obvious that he was covered the whole way there. It's almost like Flacco was trying to throw more interceptions. So Jared Goff comes back onto the field and goes, you know what, that Flacco guy, he's kind of my idol. I'm going to throw an interception too. So we get the interception. We should have momentum at this point, right? And we did have a nice drive going. We got a couple of first downs in there, but we couldn't get over the hump into the end zone. We did settle for a field goal. My boy Smitty, he gets the field goal like 20 so yards out. So right now the score isn't terrible. It's like 17-10. It's still very manageable for us. We just need our defense to keep staying strong, but it's hard for the defense to keep doing these things over and over again when our offense only stays on the field for a couple of plays. A couple of drives later, we get a nice catch by Bonds, and I'm feeling like there's some sort of momentum coming here, but we line up for the field goal, and it's like a 45-yarder. And Schmitty, my boy, he misses it. I know. My boy Schmitty misses the field goal. No! My boy, no. Here comes the fourth quarter. The only quarter that matters, they say. And even though the game is still within reach, it just feels so far out there. The Lions did fail on a fourth down, which is like, yes, let's go. It's hard to do that. We did that. Flacco comes in, and he actually is playing a pretty good game now. Like, this drive, for whatever reason, he's amped up, ready to go. He throws a perfect freaking pass to Jerry Jeudy, and Jeudy drops it. Same thing happens with Fannin. It goes right through his arms. 2 drop passes in a row. It's just detrimental. I feel like at that point, the team just felt very deflated because I don't think we got past the 50 again after that point. So we line up to do the punt. Bojorquez, he does a bit of a short punt here, and the Lions run it back for a touchdown. If the team wasn't already deflated, now it's completely out of gas. This is the knife being stuck into the tire. And at this point, the game does start to slip away. And the crazy thing is that our defense is still trying their damnedest to get a stop. And they do. They get a few stops. But of course, out trots Flacco, as if anything is going to change the true definition of insanity. And Hutchinson causes a fumble, and they get the ball back. After that, it's another easy grab by St. Brown in the end zone. This game is out. It's just so out of reach, it might as well be in the clouds. And then finally, Stefanski goes, you know what, Gabriel? We're down by like 20-something points. Get in there, champ. We do a couple run plays. He actually throws the ball but misses his target. And the rest of the game doesn't even matter. Does the rest of the game even matter? The Lions are just going to run the ball, run the clock out. It's just, yeah. I mean, at this point, we put Gabriel in way too late to even try and do something. I feel like Gabriel should have been in at halftime. Maybe even a little bit after halftime. Give Flacco another chance after being rested for 30 minutes. But no. We wait to put Gabriel in. And at this point, I don't even know if we'll start Gabriel for the Vikings game in the UK. I mean, I hope that we do. I feel like we would have a better chance against that Vikings team with Gabriel in. But at the same time, it's hard to say. It's hard to say. There's a time difference and all that stuff. The Vikings have already been in that time zone for a week at that point, or a week or more. And but this was what I kind of predicted, right? I kind of predicted this slow start with Flacco. I didn't predict a win against the Packers, but still at the same time, I kind of knew that the team was going to start at least 0-4 or 0-3, which didn't happen, I guess. But I was really thinking that we were going to put Gabriel in for this Vikings game because I felt like that was the one that could potentially be what when we saw him. But I don't know at this point. I have no clue at this point what we're going to do. So the Browns end up losing 34-10. It's not like I expected to win this one, but when the game is so close going into halftime, you kind of have some hope there. Like, I would much rather a blowout from the beginning than a blowout in the second half. But here we are. We had some hope going into the half, and then that hope was just extinguished as pretty much after that punt 6 that the Lions had. That was pretty much it. And the funny thing is that I don't mind losing to the Lions because they are one of my other favorite teams in the league. And I have a lot of their players on my 2 fantasy teams. So, Jared Goff having a good game or Laporta having a few catches, it doesn't really matter to me. Like, I even though I like the Browns are my favorite team, I still like the Lions. And I don't mind that we lost this game. I didn't go into this game thinking we were going to win. And even when we were through halftime and the score was still relatively close, I didn't feel like we were going to win anyway. So next week, we head to the UK to take on the Vikings. And if we had played a bit of a better second half here, I would say, okay, it's possible that we might win this game. So I feel like since the Vikings have already acclimated to the time out there and they've been over in the UK for, at that point, more than a week, I feel like there is a good chance that the Vikings will have a comeback game after the loss to the Steelers. But if our defense can stay strong and if we are not affected by the time change too much, I feel like we might have a good game here. So I'm going to predict it right now. I think the Browns are going to win a close game next week against the Vikings. I believe Carson Wentz is going to still be in, but hey, you never know. Maybe they'll put J.J. McCarthy in there, which I do honestly feel like if J.J. is in, we might have a better chance of winning. But as long as we can stop Jefferson from having catches, and as long as we can put a vice grip on Wentz and or McCarthy, whoever it's going to be, I think we have a good chance of winning this one. Also, I feel like our chances of winning are upped if we have Gabriel starting. With Flacco starting, I feel like it'll be another low-scoring game for us, but you never know. You never know. Maybe next week is the week that Flacco wakes up and he throws a couple more touchdowns than usual. But until then, go Browns.